So in flight school and cross-check, you can request to have a reference point of like a vehicle and your forwards and your sidewards. If you don't want one, that's fine. If you have a preference in terms of, I like to use like a man truck or a Land Rover, that can also be placed down, and that would be put somewhere just as a reference for you. So you can have that in both flight schools are doing, hovering, and also in cross-check. So
Okay.
that is something to know if you wanted to kind of use that as a method to hovering, good method of hovering.
I'm happy to give that a go, actually, because when we did the, what was it, the initial assessment thing, we didn't bother with that. I've not tried it before, so we just see actually what it actually means. Yeah,
cool. And then hovering, so hovering requires delegate inputs of all control surfaces in synchrony. So collective, so changing collective will adjust the rotor pitch angle, rotor blade pitch angle, increasing lift. Anti pedals, so when in the anti pedals you have to rotor with more or less power to counter the rotation of the main rotor. The more power that is applied to the respective rotor, the more air that will be pushed sideways from the aircraft, thus pushing the aircraft sideways. In your cyclic, so any move in a cyclic will mean the swash plate will move independently. I said this, what? A move in a cyclic will mean the swash plate independently moves each of the rotors, thus applying more lift to one side of the aircraft than the other.
Yeah.
And then common errors when hovering is tenseness and slow reactions to movement to the airframe. So you're not really reacting to the airframe, you're not seeing it drift until a certain point, and then you start inputting. And obviously you've got to be aware of inertia. Failure to allow lag in cyclic. I just talked about it, but yeah. Failure to allow lag in cyclic and collective controls, which means that over controlling. It's common to get ahead of the aircraft, and due to inertia, it takes some small period of time for the aircraft to respond. Confusing attitude changes for altitude changes, which results in improper use of controls, and hovering too low, resulting in occasional touchdowns. My biggest advice for hovering overall is get into hover, set your cyclic at a place which is suitable, and then never touch the cyclic again. And just control everything else with never touch the collective again, and just control everything else with your cyclic. If you're doing turns, you might want a little bit of collective increase, but it depends how you fly, depends how it feels on the bird, really. But yeah, that's really kind of the theory school or whatever, however you say that, of the hovering.
Yeah.
Any major questions or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. Yeah, if you want to get us over there and put in us whatever way you want to be your kind of like 0 degrees, so to speak, I'll then place the forward and sidewards reference down. Do you want a Panther?
I'll take anything, I don't mind.
Cool. I'll give you a Land Rover, and I don't know what would stand out more, yellow Land Rover or green Land Rover.
There we go.
Yeah, I think yellow might. So yeah, in flight school you're going to be tested in your hovering on the spot, facing one direction, your 90 degree hover turn, your 180 degree hover turn, your 360 degree hover turn, and then turning to a specific bearing. Mm-hmm. Those are the 4 you're going to be, well, 4 you're going to be out school, and then 5. Cross checks out of 22. Oh no. Cross-check is out of 26, and 5 of those, so you have those 5 things, so 5 of your marks is hovering. So hovering is a massive amount of the kind of percentage of marks you're going to get in cross-check, so it's quite important. Right, you want this to be your kind of facing?
That's just where I ended up, to be honest. It'll do.
Cool. One other thing you can do is you can open your nav page on the side of your screen with the base, and then you can see where the hover pad is. That is also very, very useful.
Okay, done that.
And then overall...
When you slip left and right, does it register that on the speed gauge? Or is it only forwards?
No, it does
backwards?
not.
Right, okay, I did wonder that.
No. It's just whatever speed it is. It's not like... I'm not too sure what they call it exactly, but yeah, it's just forward and backwards.
Do you want me to put it down?
No. Just let's just start some focusing hover. And yeah, you can hover at any altitude you want. Some people like it lower, some people like it higher. Just the main thing is, if you get to a dangerous level, again, it's just a safety thing, right? If you're going to be doing it at a dangerous level, then if I think it's not safe, even if you do a perfect hover, you're gonna fail. But that normally not safe is going to be below about 3 meters.
I've just checked it is set on meters on the hood.
There.
Because sometimes it goes into imperial, not metric.
Makes sense.
It is set right.
Try and minimise as much.
Yeah, I don't understand why it was settled.
Yeah. Try and minimise as much as possible your left and right kind of shifts.
Yeah.
Just so you're kind of focusing on one axis, that being your forward and rearward speed.
Okay.
That's my biggest thing, is if you can get the bird settled so it's not shifting left and right, you can then put all your focus in just ensuring the bird is nice and level and whatnot. It's very nice hovering. I just feel like we're a little bit about left and right.
Yeah, I was trying to bring it over the pad.
Yeah.
Right, let me just get over the pad. So things are just faffing, but just whack it over and get over there. Right.
It's kind of mixed between, you want to be fast inputs to be quite reactive, but you also want these inputs to be very delicate.
Yeah.
You're fast and delicate. I think right now your inputs are very delicate. I think they could be a little bit on the slow side, but I just need to see more. For example, we're still, if you look to your north, we've complete hover pads there.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to shift us over again. That dot is pretty accurate on the nav page. Being able to see where it is. And one good thing is you can see the bollards in front. If you count how many bollards there are and you work out where the middle is of the bollards, you can use that as a good way to understand where you are. As well, it's a good reference point. We seem to keep coming back to the position left of the hover pad, right of the hover pad, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you're just finding that place there.
No idea.
Right, let's try and shift us left. So put a little bit of left in, and maybe a little bit of backwards just to get off this right forward. Cool. And slowly ease that off and get us all nice and stable. Put a little bit of right forwards just to ease off this -3. And then start getting this level. Put a little bit right in because we're just drifting that left again. And just focus on that just focus on that ladder above, focusing on staying in this position. Lovely. Altitude's looking fine. A little bit low, but we're alright.
I want to bring it up a bit, to be honest.
If you want a little bit of cyclic, collective, not that much. And again, a little bit forward, just want to put a little bit backwards.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit too much.
I just find whenever I level it off, it seems to drop really rapidly.
Yeah.
It's like now.
Yeah. no, yeah, we're sticking above the hover pad much nicer now. Just you want to keep an eye on that drift, use the Land Rover above, kind of see where you've started, where you're good, and then you can see where we are now.
Does this helicopter ever sit still? Or is it just naturally always keep wandering?
I don't know.
So there are times where I feel like it's very steady and I'm not touching it at all, but then suddenly it'll make these massive movements.
Yeah, fair. So we're just front right hand side of the hover pad right now.
Yeah, I kind of see at peripheral vision, I'm just like hyper focused on the gauge at the front.
Yeah, yeah.
Above the radar ball thing.
Again, these small movements are actually absolutely fine because you're still staying in compliance with the hover pad, you're still showing a lot of control.
Yeah.
So this is actually looking very, very, very good. I would probably say nearly cross-track level.
Okay.
Just need a little bit of just tidying up at some. I mean,
Yeah.
at the start we need a little bit of tidying up, but now at this stage we're pretty good.
Yeah, I tried a lot of practice last week, and it kind of just settled there a little bit. So I always found I was just trying to get it where the power setting was just right, so it just lifted off and didn't just shoot forwards. So it's like today I didn't really go above I think 3 knots forwards from the initial lift.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would advise in your free time maybe just play around with some of the altitude.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that you might find that maybe a little bit higher altitude is a little bit nicer. It doesn't settle as much or anything like that.
It's one of ground effect actually. Yeah, it's quite.
Yeah. So it's something like that where it might be like, because I remember when I did my flight training back in the day, I was a 7 or 8 meter guy.
Yeah.
I've had some people being a 15 meter person. It's like, oh, okay. Well, they're still good hovering, but weird.
Yeah.
I don't get how they kind of see where they are and over the hover pad, but yeah.
In some ways, that's why I kind of prefer being very low, because I can actually got the visual reference points.
Yeah, me too.
Hold there, don't move.
It's not going to not move. Go back.
We're back.
I come back to us moving a lot.
Nice, hang on, I'll get it in a second. So you say it was too far forward, was I?
No. We were absolutely fine.
I thought you said go back.
No, I said I'll be right back.
Oh right, that's why I started moving backwards. I'm blaming you for
sorry.
that one.
yeah, that isn't me, sure. Right. Yeah, bring us up into a nice hover again, and then we'll start doing some turns.
Yeah, this I haven't been able to master at all.
Most thing of the turn is just nailing it on the start.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I mean everyone, always choose the wrong place to start. And as someone who has sat in this bird a lot, many hours, I can see the exact angle changing, and I'll know when it's going backwards and forwards, right? Yeah. And I'll see that angle go like backwards in the start, and be like, why did you start at that angle? It's like, you know, they choose the place where it's then inducing that backwards movement, and then they've got to counter that during the turn. And I think something else a lot of people don't realise is you can still use your cyclic backwards and forwards while you're turning.
Yes.
You know, that it's not like it's locked off. I think a lot of people kind of think, right, I'm turning, I need to be very steady with my cyclic centre. But you still have that movement and ability to move that as you need. And yeah, I think people don't always utilise that. And I think their kind of brain just shuts off as a possibility when it is a possibility.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, get it nice and stable. And we'll go for a few 90-degree turns and have a little look at that first. So, when you're ready, that's how I'm always going to say it. When you're ready, 90-degree hover turn to the left, please. So put a little bit back the cyclic off just to cover off this forward speed.
Then we're backwards again. Oh! Well, that wasn't a keybind I've set for that. That's all completely the wrong stick.
I didn't know this thing had flares. What?
It does have flares, yeah.
Never knew this thing had flares, oh my god. Right. So yeah, no, with that, you chose the point when we're going -1 backwards, which is alright. Normally back's a better thing to do than forwards.
Yeah. I'm usually one or the other.
As we turned, we gained so much forward speed, right?
Yeah.
I think your turning speed was alright actually. You can either be too fast, induce a lot of drift,
yeah,
induce unstable, or be too slow and induce massive drift, where you're pretty much drifting the bird rather than actually turning on a point. So it's a mix of those two. But yeah, right. Get us nice and stable again, and we'll go for another 90-degree.
To the left.
I'll tell you. That's going to cross check. As much as you can know what's coming up with the hover turns, you'll never know what way. I always just pick a random.
Right.
So yeah, it's always good to be aware of both. Right. We won't worry about hover pad and our location hover pad right now because
just dropping. That's dropping.
So you might find that you might actually need your cyclic a little bit higher just for our hovering than you actually have right now.
Its sensitivity, you mean?
No, just like its position. You might need your collective. I don't know where your collective is right now.
They're both flat, same level.
In terms of like percentage of your collective, is it like 50%? Is it?
29.
You
30%.
might. I would say it. 29%.
Yeah, it's at 30% right now.
Okay.
Now it's dropping. It's at 32 and dropping. How can that be?
I don't know if I'm right on this, saying this. I remember I used to do it about 47%, which is a massive increase, and it makes me feel like that's wrong.
Yeah.
But I think you might want to play around with your collective for your hovering collective.
Yeah.
I think if it's decreasing, the only thing is it will need to be higher just as your level. You need to just find that right one for you with all your inputs. For example, now we're not dropping, right?
Yeah.
I don't know where you've set at.
30%.
There, so it might be that
slightly going
differences.
backwards, but then once I level it off to go forwards, it starts dropping.
Okay, so bring it up to like 35% and see how that goes.
So it's literally like 31 and rocketing upwards now.
I would say, yeah, play around with that in your own time.
Yeah.
What's the time right now? It's 41, cool. Yeah, let's get on with some turns. But yeah, I need to go in 15 minutes or so. So, right. When you're ready, we'll do a 90-degree turn to the right. So yeah, wait for that moment.
That was awful.
Yeah, so we induce a lot of drift. I felt like we're a little bit slow. You really need to kind of get that momentum going and bring us through. Again, to be advised of a Land Rover to your close rear. Yeah, you just bring us into a hover. Let's not worry about hover pad or anything. We'll just worry about being on the spot. If you find like maybe the reference points give you more help in hover turns, we can go back over the hover pad. But normally at this stage, when we're just focusing on hover turn stuff, I just say forget that, forget the hover pad, because we can bring that together another day. Right, when we're ready, we'll do another 90-degree turn to the right. So try putting a little bit of cyclic left as we're turning right, just to maybe half.
Just watching the white ball on the gauge, it's gone considerably to the right, so getting that.
Yeah. So as you start your turn, we were drifting right. That is one thing I noticed. Is we're starting our turn and we're drifting right, and we're basically adding more drift to that, right?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure drift is very much zero when you start, and then throughout you want to be controlling that drift by cycling backwards and forwards, and if necessary also putting your cycle to the opposite side you're turning. Whenever I turn in a Chinook, if I'm turning right, cycling left, pedals, then right. That's what I do in a Chinook. Chinook's a little bit different, but that's something I always do in a Chinook, just out of my head. So it might be that you find that in Juno as well.
Yeah, so right pedal, left stick.
Yeah. Though it's definitely going to be, not all the way. You need to find that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Which I can't really explain it to you because a lot of my climbing with a Chinook is just out of my brain happens.
Yeah.
Right, so when we're ready, we're doing another 90 degree to the right, please.
Okay.
Much better. It will ignore the backwards in terms of drift. Drift was really good there. We obviously needed the backwards not to be there, but in terms of drift, really good. We were pretty on the spot. It was just that -5 at the back, which wasn't great, but otherwise drift was really good there. So we'll try that one again, right again. So you bring us into a nice hover again. And when we're ready, 90-degree hover turns to the right.
It's already in a drift. I've not even started yet. See, I feel like what we're now struggling with, we've got so much altitude, we haven't got much reference, right? Yeah.
Maybe drop us slightly, just give us some more reference to the ground. So watch that drift right, to stop that drift, and we'll stop that forward speed. There we go, looking more stable now. We're going to have a little bit backwards, this inducing in a little bit, I'm pretty sure, maybe not. I would say we're pretty stable to start our turn right now. Just want to make sure the bird, we've got a little bit forward of starting on the bird. Awesome. And watch that, so a little bit cyclic forward just to cover that off. There we go, nicely held. Awesome. Got a little bit of drift onto the left now, so a little bit right just to cover that drift off. Awesome. That's very good. Yeah, need to be a little bit faster on that backward speed.
Yeah.
I think we stayed pretty much in the same position though. I didn't look from Zeus' camera, so I can't really tell you. But yeah, no, I think if we make good improvement on that, really, really decent. So we'll go for another 90-degree right. We'll just focus on 90 degrees right.
Yeah.
Just to get the controls, and then we can reflect that over to other manoeuvres.
Yeah, because I'm watching that ball and it starts to move a little bit, and then suddenly it'll just be massively away from that crosshair.
Yeah,
and it's like knowing when to start putting in that and how far to start putting in the correction.
Yeah, exactly. Right, yeah. So when we're stable, do another 90-degree hover turn to the right. So a little bit of cyclic forwards.
Yeah. So it's been a lot more.
Yeah. So I think we did start with about -2, which wasn't a great start. And I think also when you were doing these turns, you really need to look ahead of the bird and be ready to put that cycling in even before it starts.
Yeah.
Because you do need to be very quick with it, or it just increases massively.
Yeah. So at the moment I'm watching that gauge rather than outside. So.
Yeah, I would use outside a little bit more, because you just want to be aware of being able to see your drift, rather than focus on the gauge. My biggest thing really is going to be outside to watch your drift and things like that, and then inside watching your speed is going to be the main thing really. Right, we're going over for another 90 degrees, so whenever you're ready. So start putting that cycling forward in now. Covered it off nicely. And then yeah, we had a little bit forward on there. That was a right one. We didn't have too much drift. It was definitely the backward cycling. I think you definitely need to see, as it starts to move, you need to be very rapid on that. Like I'm speaking. The minute it gets to -2, you need to be putting in some pressure. And obviously then what happened was we had a lot forward come in. I don't know if you put cyclic forward or it's just going to hover. But yeah. Right, we'll do... What's the time? Yeah, we'll do another 5 minutes. If you want to change it to a left-hand side turn, 2 or 3-2. We've done a lot of rights.
So is that going to make much difference because of the way the rotor's spinning?
I don't know really. I think a lot of people tend to have their favourite side of like they find it easier or harder. I don't know whether that is just because of the rotor spinning. That could be actually very, very true. I'm not really too sure.
I don't think I've ever been steadier than this. We'll save this.
Yeah,
well,
it probably is a factor. Because it probably is. I don't know if ArmA reflects it, but I know people do find the side they like, so it could be that maybe that side is basically correct. Yes, got a little bit backwards.
Yeah. Just to get the reference point I was using, it wasn't moving too much, but then when I looked further down, you can see the ground moving quite a bit.
Right, we'll do a left and 90-degree hover turn whenever you're ready.
Oh, see.
So a little bit, start that forward, just to see it going.
See, that's left pedal, left stick.
Oh, did you put left stick in?
I didn't put any. I was ready to put right stick in, but it started going right on its own. like the required left stick to be able to counter that. So right is right pedal, left stick. Left is left pedal, left stick.
Weird. I find it the opposite. I don't know if it's just how people control the aircraft. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that was pretty decent, really. I wasn't really judging our position, but like over a hover pad, I think that would have been pretty alright, to be fair. We went up to about -3, -4, so it was pretty good. Again, as you see that aircraft's pitch coming up, you need to think, right, I need to be starting to put in a little bit of cycling just to correct that, because the pitch will change before the speed changes. So if you react to the speed rather than the pitch, then you're going to end up, you know, not catching it in time. So yeah, again, it's kind of just, again, it's something, you know, keep your eyes out of the bird wherever possible for that pitch change. Right, we're going for another left 90 degree whenever you're ready.
Okay.
This time I'm in 6. Yeah, very, very good. That was probably one of your best ones so far.
Yeah.
Out of Zeus I saw, and we very much turned around that point. We didn't deviate, we didn't correct, so that was very, very good.
For God's sake, sit still.
And do whatever 90 degree hover turn you want, ready?
Well, lucky.
Cool. Yeah, we're a little bit more backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure. I could see it coming up, so I started trying to counteract it, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, you kind of that start that didn't really help us.
So I'm trying to stop watching the gauge now and pay more attention to the outside. Stop. No, it's dropping.
Right, I'm going to delete these Land Rovers and... I just need to do your logbook as well.
Do you want to do an auto rotation?
Nah, I think we'll leave that till another day. Yeah, I kind of need to get going now, which
Okay.
is...
Do you want me to go put it on the pad then?
Yeah. But no, overall, I think definitely made great progress from the start of our hover turns. Your base hovering is actually really, really good. I don't really have too many worries. I think the only thing I'd say is as you come into that hover and get into that hover, maybe a little bit of work just ensuring. So coming into the hover, we're kind of in nice and unstable hover straight away. I think it took a little bit of time to get there, but overall, no, your hover is really, really decent. It's really, really good. And then hover turns, we worked on it for a large amount of time, and they really came out nice at the end. So if you kind of start, you know, ensuring you've got that 90 degree left and right, which you definitely do on. You can definitely do left. Left is really, really good. Right, we did a lot of, and I think some of the end were pretty good as well. So I'd say you've got both, to be fair. But you know, again, just make sure you really get the hang of that. And then if you want to start applying it to 180 and 360, which are obviously much longer turns, I would say do that. And then next time, we'll definitely aim to get emergency procedures done, and then we'll focus on some hovering turns again.
Alright, cool.
But no, I think that was really, really good. So yeah, like some people I have at the start when we come first do hovering, it's like they're everywhere. But yeah, no, you're very, very, very stable, very nice on point. So it
Yeah.
should be really quite good to progress.
Right, cool. I think I'll have a play with the sensitivity settings and see if that makes much of a difference. Because if I had it at the moment, I'm literally just gripping it and just constant, ever so slight tweaks. I wonder whether or not if I turn the sensitivity down a bit and give me a little bit more play in the stick, it might be a bit easier.
Yeah, potentially.
Just wonder if I got it a little bit too sensitive, and that's why it's moving around as much as it is.
Fair.
But lovely.
Right. Right, I've leaked everything I need to. Are you keeping this bird here?
No, I'm going to come out, I'm going to quickly get a break, and then I'm back in. Hang on.
Fair, understandable.
And then I've got advanced AT in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, have fun with that one.
10 minutes. Yep.